like I have a weird little muffin on top of my head,
I
but
like the little
whatever.
muffin on your head.
We'll just leave it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bring Something to the Table.
Yay! I'm Leslie.
I'm Shelby.
And we're making it happen today.
Yeah, within a tight time frame, I feel. We're both busy, and that's life.
Yeah, but this is we're committed, and people seem to enjoy it, so here we are.
I know. I was talking to one of the girls at the fitness studio this morning because I worked at 6.
Oh, your nails are so cute and sparkly.
Thank you.
Sorry, squirrel, but they were pretty.
They're stickers.
Oh.
From Target.
Oh, that's a whole other conversation.
$8, yeah. That's what I've been doing because I don't want to spend money on gel.
That's great.
And I don't like sitting in the nail salon, so.
I know. It's a waste of time for an hour and a half. All right, talking to one of the girls at the salon, at the studio this morning.
About what?
The people are listening.
Oh yeah, she was asking like how it was going, and I was just like, it's fine. Like people are listening. Like friends text me every week, and they're like, oh, blah blah blah. So I don't know.
I know, and I have found it to be amazing that people I didn't know were listening are listening. So
yeah, that's cool.
Super cool.
It's also something I should have told you this before, whatever. I'm probably not going to talk specifically about dates anymore, especially if I tell guys about the podcast.
Yeah, we don't want them listening to that.
We want them listening and subscribing and liking and rating, but I don't want to give unnecessary airtime to people that aren't going to stay in my life.
All right.
So yeah, still gonna share dating stories. But
absolutely, but maybe not naming anybody, even with a nickname. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, okay. No more nicknames, no more specifics. And that person's probably listening right now, so whatever.
That's okay.
Yeah, people, not just person. So you're not the only one. Anywho,
you have a string of the dating people.
Yeah, that's my bad. Did I tell you at Hinge X, the one you have to pay for, should be like a business expense for me at this point, because I talk about the podcast, I talk about Bodied, like everything that I'm doing, and like jewelry, all the stuff. So I'm like, oh, it's a write-off.
Well, you need a good accountant, and I don't have one to refer to you because I just got hit with the biggest tax bill in my entire life that I actually have to go on a payment plan.
Yeah. So I go on a payment plan every year because I don't want to pay that much all at once.
Yeah. Well,
it stresses me out.
This one is not good. So
I still haven't filed my taxes for last year.
Oh, you need to do that.
I know.
October was the thing.
I know.
There might be a little baby penalty there.
Put it on my tab at this point.
Put it on my tab.
I'm just like
so over it.
Stack it up. And I just circling back to getting laid off and that episode and stuff. Finally, my unemployment, because I'm working my ass off, but I'm like only part-time and it's minimum wage or a little bit more than minimum wage. But my unemployment finally got approved after 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, thank God I had money saved and I didn't have a plan.
How would the regular person be able to do that?
I would have lost my house, or defaulted on my mortgage, and it just would have been absolutely financially terrible. So thankfully I have that now, so I can pay off all the credit card debt that I've been racking up the past couple months. But that's life, and that's what I'm bringing to the table today. Oh, you go next. I have lots of stories, but we'll tighten it up.
Bring something to the table. I am bringing. It's been a week and a month, and all things good of like following your heart, whatever that might be. And your path is going to change and tumble and twist and derail. But if you're following your heart and doing what aligns with your mind, your belly, and your heart, things all come together. And that is what I'm learning and embracing and bringing to the table.
Do you have a specific example of this that you're talking about?
I do. I think, and also putting yourself out there. This week has been really interesting whereas I've had opportunities that I almost bailed on because I didn't want to do them, wasn't feeling it or whatever. Actually, it was last week and this week. But I showed up to both of them as like my authentic self, and it's opened the doors to some incredible new opportunities. One, like another type of leadership role when it comes to real estate with the state of Colorado, which I'm super excited about. And then also because I have just really embraced the fact that, yes, I'm a real estate professional, but my spirit and my mission is to help women who are transitioning through divorce and trying to navigate homeownership. So I'm doing it in a holistic format of bringing them an hour of health coaching services, an hour of life coaching services, financial services, because I'm an incredible financial person who really all women need to speak with before they go through divorce. And then a stylist who will come in when you're ready to feel good about yourself. And I've put that out there and it has been very well received. And now I've been asked to write a series of articles for a really popular industry magazine in real estate. And I am over the moon. So
can you say what it is? Yeah.
I don't want to say yet.
Okay.
But
that's fun. That's like a whole experience, I feel like, for people going through probably like one of the most traumatic situations of their lives.
Yeah. And since I've gone through it twice, I also have a special designation for it. I've learned so much. And knowing this one gal, Suzanne, I wish I had known her because I think women, when you finally make that decision to get divorced, you feel so low and your self-esteem is shaken and you feel maybe not worthy. And when you look at the financial piece, it's really non-emotional. And so you need somebody like Suzanne as your coach who's going to walk you through that to see that, yeah, I do deserve this. And financially, it's not a bad thing, but it is also my worth and what I brought to the table in that relationship. And I deserve a piece of that. So,
yeah. Wow.
But you don't know what you don't know. And,
of course.
There's plenty of women who feel guilty about it and you shouldn't.
That's a really great segue into one of the things we want to talk about today, Mel Robbins.
Yes.
And what a bombshell of a motivational life speaker she is.
She is. And so do you follow her then on Instagram?
I do. Yeah, I followed her for a while. And I find her like very comforting.
She is comforting. And she just had published an article where she was interviewed for Time Magazine. It's a quick read and I highly recommend it because she has done so many different things. And that's one thing that I love about her. She's a little older than I, but just reinventing yourself. And I feel like I am now in this stage again at 54 of like really kind of coming into who I am and what's important to me and reinventing again. And she's done like political analyst and life coaching and like I want to say an attorney. I should have reread it, but she's probably done 7 different things and then started just really embracing the podcast lifestyle a couple of years ago. And it's taken off to be what it is.
She's pretty, I don't know like all of her background. But I think I've been listening to her just on like Instagram a lot. I didn't know she had like a podcast or a new podcast or whatever recently, but she was talking about guilt and like the guilt that we carry around through life over various things. And she was talking to, I think, a psychologist, and she was comparing it like your thoughts and your thought patterns to like the conveyor belt sushi place.
Yes, I heard that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, like those are your normal thoughts, just like going past you. You're like, cool, no thanks, don't want that. Okay, yeah, I'll grab that, whatever. Guilt is one of those things too, another emotion, another thought, but we tend to like grab onto it and focus on it more than the other emotions. And we don't need to because what is that doing for us? That's a gross like overview of what she said. Go to her podcast and listen.
She has her podcast. She also has YouTube. So she does record them video wise also, which I kind of enjoy just watching her. And she has a new book coming out. So I'm just going to read a little purpose behind it because I can't remember things lately. And it's her theory of the let them theory, which I just think is so powerful. And I'm really trying to embrace it. But she says it's a step-by-step guide on how to stop letting other people's opinions, drama, and judgment impact your life. 2 simple words, let them. Will set you free from the exhausting cycle of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. It's time to build a life where you come first. Your dreams, your goals, your happiness. And I've just been embracing that lately because I do want to control so many things, and I want to control outcomes, and I want to control how people think of me or perceive of me or whatever it is. But you can't do that. People are people, and we all come from our own background, our own upbringing. Different things influence us. It's like those. Have you ever seen those case studies where like there's five people, then a crime takes place, and then everybody tries to describe it later, and everybody saw something different. And so that's just it. We all have different perspectives. So let them, like, if they're going to treat you like shit, let them. If they are, not going to show up, or they're going to disappoint you, or they're going to judge you, or they're going to get mad at something that you thought was right in your heart, let them.
Yeah. I feel like there's no point to try and convince people otherwise, because like they already have their mindset on who they think you are, and like based on your behaviors, based on their previous experiences too, that which you don't know about.
Right.
So why try to control? Why try? Like there's no point, and it's just so stressful. And I think that that's something that is easier said than done, for sure.
When you're a people pleaser, and it's hard to recover from that. You spent your whole life being a people pleaser for so many reasons, right? Like it might depend on your family dynamic, or abusive household. You just have to try to keep the peace, and you want everyone to be happy around you. And it is exhausting and draining, and it takes a toll on your health.
Yeah.
And with who you really are authentically.
Yeah. And it's just messy, I think, especially like in dating and getting married, and like I think it's really easy to like lose who you are, like deep down authentically, when you are trying to like control or make someone believe that you are what they want.
Right.
Or like somebody different or whatever.
So much danger in that.
Yeah. And it's kind of, there's like a word for it, like a breath of fresh air, when you're just like, fuck off. I don't care what you think, respectfully, but like I'm just going to be me, and if you like me, that's great, but if you don't, then like that's also great, and you're out of my life, and now I can fill those holes with people who love me for who I am.
Right. There is. It's like a relief and a freedom to that when you can let go of it. And there's another word. It's called chameleonize, and that is who I was for like my late teens and then into my early 20s, because I really just wanted to get married so badly to create a life that I didn't have. And I found myself chameleonizing to be a woman that man of the moment would like and would maybe fall in love with and marry. And that's what happened really in my first marriage. Great person. But I wasn't who he needed, but I pretended to be, because I thought that's what was going to make me happy. And it ended up sucking the life out of me.
Yeah. And isn't that funny how you were trying to be what you thought he wanted, when like maybe he told you these are the things that I want, maybe he didn't. And like, so you're taking what you think somebody else wants and trying to be that thing. So it's just like a vicious cycle of just like no one's being who they really are.
No, and we did talk about it. So he did say, here's what I want. And he liked me because I was very independent at that time. But then getting married, here he laid out the role that he expected. And I was happy to do that because I didn't have that growing up. And so I thought I could be the stay-at-home mom and have 3 children and have dinner ready and do all these things. And I did not like any of it. It was awful. So I feel badly in some ways, because I felt like that was kind of the agreement that we had, and I let down my part of the agreement. So I think that rolled into when I decided to get divorced from him. I didn't do alimony, I didn't do anything because I just felt so guilty. And I thought, holy shit, that was
dang
the law. Like it's legally whatever, it doesn't matter. But
yeah. And I feel like well, I mean, maybe it's not a gender thing, but I do feel like if we feel even like partially responsible for anything, we're just like, take whatever you want. Like you can have it all. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm the one that messed this up. Not even in like romantic relationships too. Like that can go to friendships, family relationships. It's just like you're trying to make up for something that you think you did wrong because you want everyone to be happy.
Right.
At your own expense.
People pleasing. And then like they'll let them, because don't do that. It's 2 sides, right? It's always 2 or more people in a relationship to make it happen. So no one needs to take on all of the responsibility.
Yeah. And it's more fun to be yourself. Oh,
What happened?
you whacked it.
I did. Got a little animated.
Yeah, I think it's just, well, I mean, everyone knows I'm 36 and I feel like I'm going to go through these like life transitions multiple times until I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to continuously be like this reminder of like, okay, you got to get back to yourself. Like, don't try and be the person like your parents expect you to be, or like, don't try and be the person that your previous partner expected you to be, because those, like, that's all, you're losing who you are. And that's all at your own, like, expense of your own happiness. And you're the one that has to live with yourself. So everyone else can scram.
They can scram. And as long as you feel good, again, that like whole mind, heart, belly alignment, then you're on your right path.
Yeah. I also like to tell myself or remind myself, like, what is for you will like never pass you by. And I feel like I'd probably say this every time we talk, but like the things that are meant for you, like the people that are meant for you, like they're not going to pass you by. They might be delayed a little bit depending on like your life choices and stuff, but like the people, and that goes for like the things that aren't meant for you. No matter how hard you like try and hold on to them, like they're never going to stick around. So it's like, I don't know, a weird dance you have to do.
It is. So that's kind of it brings up this analogy. I went to this woman who's like a medium and channels spirits and is also like a psychic.
Mm-hmm.
She's great. Readings by Kim.
What up, Kim?
She was kind of saying exactly that of you're going through this transition. And you're like on this raft and there's a bunch of shit on the raft with you. And you're trying to like slough it off. It's sort of slough it off, like get all the things off and then keep going down the river. And those that are meant to be with you and the things that are meant to be around you and your life choices will be there. Mm-hmm. But like, get rid of all the crappy stuff and you'll come to your true self.
And your crappy stuff will change. Like you'll think you want these things. It's like getting married, being a stay-at-home wife and mom and having kids. Like maybe you thought you wanted that and then you realize like, no, it's not for me. That I think that stuff's going to always change too, like as you go through life. Like I thought I wanted to get married and have kids and now I don't want any of that. But then maybe I'll change my mind and then I'll foster, adopt, or I'll find somebody that I actually want to like hitch my wagon to long term legally. So I just feel like you have to continue to like check in with yourself and see like what it is you want and try and like shut out all of the outside voices. And especially now it's hard too with like social media.
Yeah.
And not just your parents or your friends or your brothers and sisters being like,
always in your ear.
Yeah.
But, it's tough because I don't think it matters how old you are. At some point, unless you can figure out how to detach from your parental relationships, you want their approval. Like there's still this, or sometimes I want the approval of friends. Like I get really happy when some of my friends that I respect are like, I am so proud of you for doing this. And we need to hear those kind words also, because I think it gives us the motivation and self-confidence to move forward. But gosh, I met somebody last weekend and super traumatic childhood and abandonment issues and crazy roller coaster. She's a psychologist now, as she should be. But she still has a mother in her life. And I'm like, you got to cut that shit out. Like,
do I know this person?
You do not.
Oh, okay.
No, but she's 40 something and her mom will still drop her to a child who is groveling and sad and feels horrible about herself. I'm like, that's not okay.
No. That's such a tough situation too. Like when you can't, I mean, I don't really have to like go deep into it, but like my mom's not in my life anymore. And you just get to a point where you just realize that you're above it all and not in like a cocky way.
Right.
But it takes like, it's different for everybody, but it takes like so much to get there. And some people never do. And like, that's okay too, but they're just going to continue to suffer if you have like that type of manipulation and like narcissism in your life.
Yes. And those women tend to be borderline personality. I think it tends to be this one particular group of women who needed men to take care of them. And so just did everything they could to present themselves that way to find a man. And then they had these daughters that were born who became more independent and were fighting against it. And then they became jealous of these daughters. And then they were narcissistic and cruel and said horrible things just to keep them down.
Yeah.
Instead of encouraging them and letting them blossom and realize, okay, I didn't have this for my life, but I want my daughter to have such a better life.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to segue into something very random. But menopause.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because we did, oh my gosh. So we had talked before, we had another guest on here, Suzanne Greiner, talking about menopause. We just had our big event last night, the M Factor. And so now you can find it on PBS. Of course, they show it at like 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. because it seems like they still don't want women to see this documentary. But it is really shredding the silence on menopause, talking about it, normalizing it. Doctors aren't trained in it, giving women the tools and the knowledge to go talk to their practitioner and to not start thinking that things are in their heads. So last night we had this huge event. We had 70 people turn out, a 6-person panel of healthcare professionals. It was simply phenomenal. And it talked again about, women in their 30s. And I just think your generation is so much more empowered and vocal and willing to stand up for yourselves. And we just want to help you guys have a stronger, better, empowered life than the bullshit gaslighting that we have been given.
Yeah, unfortunately, the gaslighting is still present, but now we know more, thankfully. So like, I don't know, when I first started going to like the gynecologist, this goes back to mother shit, like my mom would still like come in the room with me because she didn't want to like, she wanted to know. I was like obviously having sex with my high school / college boyfriend.
So you were like 15, 16, 17 and she was in the room with you?
Oh, I was 17 when I lost my virginity.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, she wasn't like full, like staring at my.
Well, I know, but you're not able to have a private conversation with a doctor.
Well, she chose my doctor too. It was like this old guy who, I don't know, like a lot of girls my age in my town went to. But like, I didn't know what questions to ask. I wasn't ever like taught about like my body and like that things were okay to like bring up and ask about. It was just like you go in, you have like your pap smear, your exam, whatever, you leave, and like God forbid I was like, hey doc, I'm like sexually active now, so like what should I be doing? I was just winging it. And I think a lot of people were too my age, but now it's just like I think we feel more empowered because of these things and because of like more like information is more widely spread on social media and stuff, where we know like, okay, these are the things I should be talking about. Things aren't feeling right. Things aren't looking right, whatever. Like, let's figure it out. I don't have to just deal with this.
And that's the key. Like no more just dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
So sorry.
The body's complicated.
We can move on to other things, but
menopause.
I just want to throw that in there because I'm excited for, I don't know, this new generation to just embrace. And I was on the plane because I went away last weekend, listening to this young-ish couple like your age, and they are kind of grifters in a way. Like they house it for people for long term for like a month at a time, and then plan these backpacking trips out of the country. And that's how they live their life. And it was really fascinating to hear them live this nomadic lifestyle of experience, right? Like not material. There's definitely those who still want a house and the cars and all that stuff. But I love the people who are just living for experience because you can't replicate that.
Yeah. And you can't really like at the end of the day when you're gone, yeah, you can leave behind a house and money and whatever. But like, I would rather have stories and experiences and like knowledge that I shared with like younger people so they can then like share it on with others too. It's like generational type stuff, but money's also important. But yeah, I'm the same. Like, that's why when I moved here, I sold all my stuff and I don't want a big house. Like, I don't need things. And like, if granted, a cash would need to leave the house, but like if the house burned down and everything went with it, like I'd be fine. Like I don't hold tightly to any of like
his possessions.
Yeah, the material things. Yeah. I used to care a lot about my car and I really wanted like either a Porsche or an Audi. And now I have like a beat up Honda. Well, it's brand new.
It didn't start beat up.
I know. The fucking thing is brand new, but she's not well.
We need to sage.
I'm getting a new one.
Okay.
Like, I have to get the damage fixed. Hail damage, glass damage. Someone ran into the back of
drive-by. Yeah.
Nothing that I did.
Yeah, that's so strange.
So, yeah, I'll get that fixed. And then I'm going to get like an electric vehicle or something. But material things don't matter at the end of the day.
I didn't mean to laugh.
Experiences do.
John just got the new mini electric vehicle, and he's so funny because he had a gas issue anyway. So if it got less than like 3/4 of a tank, he had to go to the gas station, where I'm like, I don't know, it was 0 10 days ago. Hopefully we get there. So he'll drive to work, which is like 10 minutes away, and he comes home and he plugs it in. So it's just
well, that's easy, I guess.
Yes, electric vehicle.
I wait a while to fill up my gas tank because it's just like a waste of money.
I hate it. I hate doing that.
Yeah. And I would rather have something that like recharges itself. I don't think that's asking too much in the year of 2024. We should be flying now, flying cars.
Well, yeah. If we were watching the Jetsons back in the day, that's what we would be doing.
That's what we should be doing.
It's not happening.
No. Instead, we have Teslas. And those freaking Cybertrucks.
Oh my God. I hate the Cybertruck.
Those, I was just like, when a guy has like a big jacked up truck, you're like, all right, you're trying to like make up for something.
With a little ball sack that hangs down on the back hitch.
That.
Like, what is that about? I don't understand.
I don't know.
What that is.
Inadequacy, perhaps.
You're calling it out.
Yeah.
Right.
We all know. But the Cybertrucks, same vibe.
Yeah.
You're just a rich.
You look
dummy.
like a tool. I
Yeah.
mean, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And they had a recall, right? The brakes aren't working, so they're all recalled.
Huh.
Either the brakes aren't working or the accelerator's getting stuck. I forgot. But either way.
Allegedly. Please don't sue us, Elon Musk. If he still owns that company, I don't even know.
There's a letter out there.
Yeah. But all in all, if people are being dicks to you, let them.
Mm-hmm.
If people want to drive Cybertrucks and look like a jackwagon, let them.
Let them.
You don't have control over it, and who cares?
No. And if people are going to be haters and hate on you, let them.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just need to conform and, I don't know, can't speak their own truth. So go with your intuition. Someone texted me today saying you're doing your heart's work. And I really love that. And I think we should all be doing that because that is how we bring something to the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true.
You like I did that?
Yeah. I don't have anything.
That was my third espresso kicked in finally.
Oh my God. I need to take an Adderall or something. My brain is like, yeah, just be who you are. Trust your gut. Love yourself first and foremost. It's not selfish.
Not selfish.
And those who are supposed to be in your life and love you for who you are going to stick around. Bottom freaking line.
Right? I love it.
Case closed.
So on that note,
you always have a seat at our table and we love you so much.
We do. And I think we're going to have another little contest because I'm in love with the book, Let Them Theory. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, Shelby.
You're welcome. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks, everybody.
Gratitude. All right. And just remember, you always have a seat at our table.
Come sit with us.
Come sit with us.
Bye.
Bye. And that's a wrap of another episode of Bring Something to the Table.
We hope you enjoyed diving into the wild world of candid conversations with us.
Remember, you can catch all of our episodes on your favorite podcast platform.
And if you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.
And your support means the world to us.
So until next time, keep embracing the messiness of life, keep seeking those shared experiences, and always remember,
you deserve a seat at our table.
Bye. Bye.